Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another season, the grand finals, the semifinals even, and the grand finals of the GSL, the Global StarCraft League 2025 Season 2. Welcome to the playoffs. I am Coach VIP with you, and joined by these amazing players, by the people in chats, and by these chains that bind us all together and lock us in to cast some GSL. Let's go, baby, let's go. It's been a very condensed, a very intense season here of the Global StarCraft League, as it has been this year when it comes to Season 1 and Season 2 as well. Thankfully, there was a little bit of breathing room, though, between the Group Stage 2 and the playoffs. That was a couple of days. There was a couple of days break, I think like 2-3 days in between. Did allow players to prepare, did allow players to get ready and to actually formulate some builds in preparation for the semis and for the grand finals as well, which is everything that we want, which is of course the best thing about GSL, is that preparation based format. And now we get to feature our semis, our finals. We get to crown our champion here tonight. Let's go. Now, just to reiterate, just as a heads up, of course, this is a replay cast. We already had these events take place over the weekend, so a couple of days ago over the weekend was the GSL semis and grand finals. So we're here to catch up on those matches here, ready before you tonight. Let's go. Let us go. When it comes to the bracket itself, let us switch our teams over and catch up on the brackets. Here we go. We have our top 4 players from the group stage. We had herO, herO, Classic, and Gumiho make it through said group stage. And it's such a, I'll say, for the most part, a varying kind of cast here of players. We spoke about GSL, we spoke about GSL, yeah, and the state of play in Korea and the kind of caliber of play as well amongst all the players. We spoke about this at the beginning of the season. The reason why we brought it up, if you're cool, was just how was Cure. He was the runner-up. He was the runner-up in Season 1. He did make it all the way to the top 2, and he had a very close, very clutch, very intense series against herO, but he did not make it out of Group Stage 1. Likewise, another player, Maru, he won DreamHack Dallas. He's our DreamHack Dallas champion, and he also gets knocked out earlier on in the group stage as well. What I'm getting at is that here in Korea, like, the skill level of all the players, they're very close. The skill level in Korea, they're very, very close in skill. Players like, you know, your herOs, Gumiho, Classic, Rogue, Maru, Cure, Bunny, Creator as well, Down, Shin, Solar, they're all beating each other. And it does make this a little bit more up in the air. It does make things a little bit more chaotic. In saying that, again, Cure, the runner-up, he's not here in the top 4 this season. Likewise, we do have a newer face. We have Rogue. Rogue, of course, he got knocked out previously early on in the GSL Season 1. I say early in Group Stage 2, I should say. But now he's here. Here he is to reprise his role and to potentially get his revenge. If you recall, he never really had much of a chance to face off against herO. Rogue and herO, they were in the same group in Season 1. They were in the same group, but Rogue never played against herO because he got cheesed the hell out by the Terrans. He did get cheesed. He got mech'd, he got all in. Like, he got cheesed out by the Terran players, and he was unable to actually face off against herO in Season 1. But now here he is looking to face off against him in Season 2. Let's go. It's going to be a first series. Meanwhile, when it comes to Classic and Gumiho, they also did make it into the playoffs of Season 1. It was Gumiho versus herO, and it was Classic versus Cure, if you recall, for the semifinals. Here we do have a bit of a mix-up, a bit of a change-up, though, with who is facing off against who, and now we get to experience a bit of a different dynamic as a result. Let's go. And yeah, let's go. Let us go. Up first, we're gonna have our ZVP. Up first, we're gonna have a herO and Rogue. They're gonna be facing off in a best of 5. Very good. These are gonna be best of 5s into the best of 7 grand finals. And game 1 is gonna be on Maganatha. Ooh, let's go. That's the other amazing thing here about these longer series, is we get to experience some of these otherwise vetoed maps. Again, this map is very heavily vetoed amongst the pro scene. Sorry, not quite heavily vetoed. I was gonna get into Torches and Last Fantasy, but even Maganatha we don't really see as often as some of these other maps, but we get to experience it here and now, and we might even get to experience some of the other vetoed maps as well. For now, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is a herO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. We go. as we move out early on with our drone. And the goal here should be a hatch block. Now, bearing in mind, this is not an all-in, this is not hyper-aggressive. The goal here is to move out with said drone to get across the map, to block the expansion, and then to double expand back at him. There we go, there's the expansion. Okay, never mind. So basically, a couple things just happened. If herO was here to pylon block, then Rogue would commit in and go for the hatch block, but there was no pylon block on the low ground. Rogue was able to expand freely. He may still go hatch before pool. Yeah, he's going for it. There we go. He does build up those minerals, does move in, and he is here to block the expansion. Here we go. So it's going to be hatch before gas before pool. A very greedy build here from Rogue. And again, the goal here is to force, and the reaction is to force boys to be pulled, to delay the expansion, to force out a second gateway, to force out a zealot, to just force a reaction here and delay the economy of herO. Let's go. Let us go. And again, the reason why the drone was already here ahead of time was just in case herO was pylon blocking. Just so we can also block it across the map. From here, Zealot is on the way. And again, this will eventually be dealt with. And again, the purpose here has already been met. Forcing 5 probes off the mineral line, 1 Zealot out, so another Zealot's on the way. And herO, he never probe scouted. Yeah, he never did probe scouts. So he's not aware of what is going on. For all he knows, it could be an earlier pull. There could be links coming across the map. That is why he's forced to make another Zealot. As herO does move out, he's going to be rallying across the map as we speak. Behind this does expand. And we are settling in. Now, if you recall, when it comes to the interviews that we received last season, Rogue, he was actually quite concerned about herO. He was the most scared about herO in his group, less so the Terrans, and again, did meet his end at the hands of said Terrans. As Rogue, he fails the gas steal in the main, does go for the gas catcher at the natural instead, just being as annoying as possible. The first Zealot has arrived, and Rogue, we do have some Zerglings to defend. Zerglings in position. A last second Zealot has arrived. Queen is still not yet out. Yeah, the Queen is delayed. And with that, these Zealots, they do kind of well here. They pick up a couple of Zerglings. Now they're going for the mineral line. Yeah, one drone goes down. He gets the drone. Can he get the Queen? No shot. Yeah, the Queen should not go down. I say that is getting quite low, though. Yeah, the Queen is getting low, and the Queen does fall. Adept shades into the main base. Does target down another couple of drones. 2 drones going to be going down. Can we get 3? Can we get 4? 3. 3 drones, 1 Queen, and 6 Zerglings. A very nice trade here for herO. A better trade for herO. Meanwhile, the gas geyser does complete, so now it's going to have to be killed. Or now it will be killed. So another bit of a loss there for Rogue. And herO does open Void Ray from the Stargate, not Oracle. Interesting. Okay, so it's going to be Void Ray opener here out of herO. With this, he can hunt down Overlords. He can keep Rogue in the dark. Rogue has been a lot more active. We'll see what that leads to. Oh, we shall see. Lings, they collapse on the Adept. Not bad. Adept goes down. Border moving out. Has yet to hunt down the initial Overlord. Is just zooming across the map, trying to find some more damage. Ideally, with this first Void Ray, because you reveal your hand, you want to try to snipe an Overlord that otherwise would have escaped. So this Overlord should go down, and the one across the map is already a secure kill. So it's hoping for 2 Overlords, and he should get them. The Queen should not save. Yep, Overlord does fall. herO rotating around, behind this going for the Oracle, and he is going to be expanding. Now we're going to keep an eye open here for the timing of the Twilight Council, but overall the herO, everything is looking on point. It is a bit of a shakier start regardless, just because of the delayed natural and the delayed everything, thanks to the hatch block. But we're getting there. Fast Evo Chamber out of Rogue tells us this most likely is going to be plus on melee. If it's plus on melee, then there's a high chance that Rogue wants to skip Roaches and go into Ling Hydra. So we'll keep an eye on the upgrade. Otherwise, if we go into plus 1 range, then we could head into a more Hydra heavy composition. But there it is, melee. Again, it's going to be melee instead. Overlord's being forced back. Overlord does get a full scout. The attack is not early, so we're going for the Forge, going for the Twilight Council. Or we'll say get it across the map. They get a Queen. Not bad. They get 1. They Get a queen, they back up. No major drone damage yet, but a queen is a nice pickup nonetheless. As herO does pull away. Behind this, ooh, interesting. Working towards not a blink, but charge instead. Charge +1 on the horizon here for herO. Going for an earlier charge timing. This is an interesting one. Now, a couple things happened here. herO, he hasn't really confirmed the tech as to what's going on. He does see the lack of gases, true. He also saw the lack of tech here at the wall. There could still be a Roach Warren, but rushing into charge like this is ideal against Ling Hydra. It is ideal against a player that is skipping Roach production. And you see what I see? No Roaches. No Roaches here from Rogue. Is going Ling Hydra. We spoke about that with +1 melee. And this is where herO can punish. Speaking of punishing, gets a queen. Gets another 2? Oh god. Another 2 queens going to be going out. Can we save the queen? No, we cannot. 3? As we're going up to 3 queen kills here. One of the oracles, ooh, does overextend. Bit of miscontrol there by herO, but to kill 3 queens for 1 oracle, that is still well worth it. Ay, herO, calm down. They do harass across the map. They do slip in towards the main. Plus here he does the play. Does the play to charge, also going to be racing across the map. And again, what is it to defend? No Bailings, no Roaches, no nothing, just purely Ling Queen, and there's no way to hold against this. No shots. Lings, they try to engage, charge, let's say just mow through their Zerglings. Now the queens, they can tank, but 1 queen goes down. Yeah, last no transfuse. 3 queens went down earlier, so the queen count is quite low. And Zealous, they should overwhelm. They should just overwhelm. There is no defense. Drones are being drilled. Queens taking some damage to the backline, but now they get around it. They get around it as well. And again, before Rogue could really get into the mid game, before we could actually establish his bases, GG gets called, and herO takes game number 1. GG. A solid game there out of herO. Again, the early game, I want to say, Rogue, he got what he wanted. Remember, he was able to delay the expansion. He was able to hatch block. That was great and all, but herO was so quick to counterattack. I think what surprised me is that typically the counterattack is a little bit more delayed. I'm referring to the double Zealot, double Adept. I mean, it's in the name. I just said it. Like, usually you wait for a second Adept and then you move out with 2 Adepts and 2 Zealots. herO, if you remember, he moved out immediately with his 2 Zealots and moved out with an Adept as well. Now, what was scary about what herO did and why that's illegal is, remember, herO didn't scout. He didn't know the timing of the spawning pool. For all he knew, there could be Zerglings amassing, and with him moving out, there could have been a run by, there would have been nothing at home to defend, and it would have lost a pylon, would have lost workers, would have lost a lot there. But herO did gamble. He did gamble. I say gamble. He did take a risk, and it's also possible that maybe he's a little bit more familiar with Rogue, just assuming, you know what, you're probably playing standard here. You're probably just hatch blocking this. There's probably no threat to me here behind this, so let's just rally everything across the map. Let's not play safe. Let's go blindly into the dark, and it worked. He was able to get a queen, able to get a couple of drone kills. He traded well early on to the point where he took a lead himself, and then again he was able to read his opponent despite not scouting the Eva chamber. Did see lack of gases, did see lack of tech. There could have been hidden tech, but he just assumed, Rogue, you're not going to go Roaches. You're not going to go Roaches here. Let me just kill you with charge. GG. GG, well played. Now, based on what just happened, I don't think that Rogue is going to be skipping Roaches, at least for the next 2 games. I feel like once you get caught out by charge like this, we're gonna have to be forced to commit a little bit more, respect this, and go into a Roach based opener instead. But we'll see. We'll see how things do differ as we get into game 2. Game 2 gonna be on Tokamak. Oh boy. Bearing in mind, there's also a rematch with DreamHack Dallas. True. I do recall DreamHack Dallas, Rogue, and herO did also face off there as well. The reason why that stands out in my mind is, if you recall, when herO did defeat Rogue at Dallas, he actually went over to him, and they were going over the replay, and he was like, they were discussing it. Like, it's like after the series, after they shook hands, Rogue was like, "Yo, can you help me out here? Like, what's going on? Like, what am I meant to do?" Then he was like, "I got you, I got you." But yeah, they were just like discussing the replay like after the series. It was crazy. But here we go. We're now getting into game number 2, and spawning in the right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss leading the series 1-0, representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself representing Team Falcons. It is herO. We go. This is honestly, what is RSL, by the way? RSL is a rival StarCraft League. RSL is an event, well, I mean, it was already explained in the chat, event organized by the community members in Korea, by State, Tasteless, Ziggy, Gemini as well, and some others behind the scenes. A crowd-funded tournament, and it has been running this week. This week, it has been running. The group stage, I should say. That's also why we have been casting a little bit less this week to allow RSL to continue and to go unimpeded, uncontested. Here we go. So now we have our initial opener, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of herO. Likewise, this time here is able to freely expand here, gate expand into Cybercore. So far, so good. As we are going to be settling in. When it comes to our build of choice, again, we're expecting herO to be a little bit safer this time and going to roaches. I say that, welcome one and all to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the more defendable maps of the map pool, not as large as Maganatha, but defendable nonetheless. So we might see herO feel the need to cut corners again. He might want to cut corners, he might want to go pure Ling Hydra. It can be abused, as we just saw. It can be risky to try to cut corners, but at the same time, at this level of play, you do want to cut as many corners as you can against your opponent. You want to do whatever you can to get that edge, to get that advantage. Behind this Stargate opener out of herO, going for a Stargate into Oracle. We're assuming Oracle could be Void Ray again, true. Could be going Void Ray. And there it is. It is going to be Oracle first. Link Scout does confirm. So nice scout here by Rogue. Oh. Zerglings are going to be, for the most part, cleaned up. They do get one probe. Not bad. At least Rogue is aware of what's coming his way. He knows his overlords are at least safe for the time being. And is getting ready back at home. Massing up more queens. That's another, big part, of course. It wasn't just the build of choice by herO. We had a really nice setup as well, sniping 3 queens. I think 4 in total before the main fight. Like, he was able to snipe so many queens from Rogue in lead up to that charge push, which did mean the charge move outs was that much stronger. Rogue advancing quite heavily into these Zerglings. Interesting. We have an extra wave on the way. Let him safe Turk in. They should not get much done. So Rogue just playing safe. Oracle does pull away. Oh. And not really finding too much damage here. It looks like he will not deny the Overlord. Gets an egg. Pulls away, and there it is, a Roach Horn out of Rogue. Again, as we mentioned, we assumed that Rogue would be playing Roaches this time just to be safe. There was, of course, a chance that he would skip Roaches again, but this time is embracing Roach production. So if herO were to do the same build 2 games in a row, if he were to go into charge, then he would be shut down. That is an earlier Twilight Council. Okay. We do see the Twilight Council and Forge on the way. We'll see if we go into charge again. Here he pokes in. Okay, he confirms. He pokes in. He confirms that Roach Warren has been thrown down. Now he knows that Rogue is playing safe. He knows that now this time there are Roaches, which means this should be +1 in Blink, not +1 in charge. Should be. Ooh, +1 range on the way. This tells us that Rogue is going to commit a little bit harder to Roach into Hydra, most likely teching up into Lurker Tech as well. There is a build where you can go into a Hydra all-in, where you hit with +1 and you cut worker production at 66 and you only get a 4th base just for Larva. The Solar, if you will. Solar is very fond of it. So we'll keep our eye open for that as well. As that they do bust in. And herO, he is going to charge again. This is risky. This is a very risky move here by herO. So a couple of things. What he's hoping is that, okay, you're going for a roach warren. It's probably just for safety. You probably don't want to make roaches. Let's go charge and try to catch you off guard. Adept Shade confirms research. Seeing the roach warren researching confirms that there are going to be roaches being built. And these elves, they shouldn't get much done despite that. 7 drones going down. Oh my god, 8 drones? 9? Oh, 9 workers gonna be from 10. Gee, almost. 9 drones do full critical damage here at the natural base. Roaches are amassing. Remember here, he did scout the roach one. He knows that roaches are building up, and Rogue is going all in. Yeah, Rogue is going all in. He's taking too many losses, too many hits, and charge lots are not going to help too much against an all in. Not like this. Yeah, here is being punished for his build of choice. At least he should be. Yeah, mass Zelts are spotted. Rogue knows. Rogue, he sees the Zelts. He knows there's no reason to have Zelts this early on unless we're going to charge. This Rogue is vulnerable. Sorry, here is vulnerable. We do see the Oracles, they catch a queen. Not bad. They get a queen, but they're going to be thrown away. Ooh, this is not worth it here. Going to be losing every single Oracle. herO. Bearing in mind that he's up against an all-in, every unit counts, stasis traps, pulsar beams, whatever he could get. But he throws away 2 oracles against a spore. Back enemy was distracted, and here comes the all-in. And again, herO, he fumbled that aggression. Now he has a worse defense. Zelts, they do collapse in. They get a surround. Oh my god. Okay. They come in for the surround, and they're trading as best they can. They clean up a lot of roaches. Like, that surround was insane. Okay. herO, he's pulling this off. Takes down almost every queen. And again, surrounds the roaches. Roaches that have not yet massed up. Now juggling there by Rogue. But alas, he is being shut down. A lot of roaches do fall at the same time. Down go the Zealots. Like, the problem with Chargelots here is that Chargelots, they're not a very efficient unit. They don't really build up over time. You don't preserve them. You don't micro them back. They're one and done. And yes, they had initially a good fight, but now there's nothing left. Now there's nothing here, and herO, he basically got hard countered. He got hard countered. We spoke about it, but for herO to go into charge, I mean, the all-in is just such a good option here to just shut it down completely. And herO has nothing to defend. herO has the vanilla stalkers. As the third base has been broken. And now stalkers can kite back, but they have no blink. They have no upgrades. And GG gets called a Rogue. He will tab the series 1-1. We have a back and forth. Whew. GG. We have that back and forth. And again, that was on herO. herO, he did decide, despite scouting the Roach Warren, to go into charge. Remember, that was a decision made after he had seen what was going on, after the scout. So he did make that decision, he did make that choice. He was assuming that Rogue will play macro, and if so, then he could get away with charge and try to harass and then build up and get into a 4th base. But alas, instead, Rogue, he just committed to an all-in, and herO, he did not have what it took to defend, to survive against that. GG. GG, well played. With that, Rogue ties things up, and now we're going to game 3. We're going into Torches. Let's go. Torches, the second most viewed map in the map pool. Map we rarely get to see, especially in this matchup. Curious to see what the plan is, as we are used to seeing all-ins on this map, but at the same time, we don't really get to see much of it. Let's find out. This morning, in the bottom right-hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. Hello. Oh my god, he's crazy. He's going to be mining through those patches here, representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. He's rushing to the gold. He's rushing out into the gold base. This is something that we have not seen, I haven't seen before actually. But that's also because, as I mentioned in lead up to this, we don't often see games on Torches. Like, they're just not often seen. And yeah, he's zooming across the map for that proxy hatchery. herO is unaware. Here he's distracted. He needs to check that wall. But again, I don't know how much experience herO has on this map. It's not like El Dorado. El Dorado was seen a lot more often. El Dorado was larger than Torches. herO pokes in. herO confirms there are no gases, no spawning pools. Something is wrong. There has to be a hatchery somewhere. Upon seeing this, there has to be a hatchery somewhere out there. We know where it is, but herO does not. There we go. Now we have the pool. Now we have the gas. Now we have the pool. But this is late. This is still late tech here. Again, there should be an expansion, and herO, he's when he sees a low ground, when he sees there's nothing here, he has to check. Oh. As herO for now just going for a gate expand. herO is still being as annoying as possible in the main. He's not scouting. And what is the plan from here is the question. Are we going into roaches, into a roach all in where you mine through these middles and just go straight into the natural? That would make the most sense in my mind. To go for the all in, he checks, no expansion. Like something is wrong. Like he sees there is no base. And he's checking the linear third. Oh, he's assuming that the base was taken here. It isn't. It's not here. He's checking the center goal bases. Late scout here of the wall. Very late. Now he confirms nothing at the goal bases, and he knows like it has to be somewhere. He's looking. It's like, wait, what? And here comes herO. herO, guys, soon was going to be roach all in. He's going for link flood. He's going for a link flood, and herO, he has no idea. He has seen nothing. He's still not. Okay, there we go. Now he checks, but it's too late. He's in. Yeah, it's too little, too late. The wall has been broken. Links and drones, they do bust in. We have more links on the way. He does fully wall off. He does wall. That will delay. But only for a time. And yeah, the queen can focus this down. Here he defends in the main. And can herO make a stand? As the pylon is holding strong for now, but he has to cancel. Yeah, he has to cancel. The wall has been broken. The force field a little bit too late. Yeah, late force field, late sentry. Oh, and never mind. Okay, he locks him down. Very nice. Locks down the army. Shield batteries are on the way. Here he cannot get surrounded. He has to pull back. The kiting is solid. Oh no! One of the sentries almost gets caught out. Nice force field. Ooh, but the sentry still falls. And it's, yeah, he's being zoned away. He's being zoned away. The Stalker, it's still in production. Shield battery is now done. Oh, can he save the sentry? He can, just barely. He does have a force field. Yeah, but they get a full surround. They get a full surround. They force a recall. Sentry goes down. Stalker does recall back. And herO, I do think he's done it here. Like, no shot here survived from this. Boys are being pulled. herO gets us around, takes out the Stalker, and 0 units. 0 army units to defend, just probes. And herO, he will all in. He will cheese them out. Again, it's on herO here. He didn't scout. And again, I feel like a big part of this is just how little games you get to play on torches. How often this map is vetoed. Didn't have the wherewithal to scout, to check. And GG gets called. herO takes a 2-1 lead. GG. herO does take a lead, and again, welcome to Torches. As we mentioned, Torches is not like El Dorado in the sense that we got to see a lot more games on El Dorado, and it was a lot more common to scout that mineral wall on El Dorado as well, to check to see if players were being cheeky. But here on Torches, because of how rarely you get to see games on this map, I want to believe that that's part of the reason why why his scout was so late, why his scout and his realization of what was happening was just so delayed. And with that, he got caught with what? With his pants down. Pappy was caught with his pants down. And herO takes a lead. And can herO claim the series? Up next, we're going to be loading into ley lines for game number 4. Let's go. Let us go. Yes, the pants were down. Pappy, the pants are. Completely. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. Down in the series, he has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It is herO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Now, something that we didn't really get to mention here is, or coming into the series, I do favor herO if we get into a standard, if we get into the mid game. If we get into mid game, into mid to late game, like I do favor herO given that kind of game state. But this series has been very fast. It's been a very fast series, very short games as well. We haven't really seen any mid game at all between herO and Rogue, and we might not get it. I mean, right now the pressure's on herO to survive until then. And he only has 1 game left to try to pull that off, in the sense that he cannot lose another game here. Meanwhile, Rogue, he has some room to work with. What are we going for? But now, hatch first. herO scouts. herO confirms that the hatchery is back at home. No crazy ninja hatchery or proxy. As he does poke in. herO behind this walling up. And we're going to be waiting for our tech of choice. Now, we do expect herO to go Stargate. We have yet to see Stargate into Blink Stalker. That just hasn't happened so far this series. On a map like Leylands, that's what we're expecting out of herO. No shot he goes Charge again. No shot. I would hope not. Like, Charge is the ability you whip out once in a series, and hey, it worked wonders in game 1. But you don't want to rely on that, because again, you're just heavily reliant on your opponent not making roaches. Based on the fact that herO's gone Charge in game 1 and game 2, I would imagine Rogue is going to play Roach again here in game 4. But we'll see. We shall see. As for now, our natural is just getting saturated. Third base is going to be on the way for Rogue. And we have our tech of choice, Stargate. Now we're expecting an Oracle, but we could still see another Void Ray opener out of herO. And there it is. It is going to be the Oracle. So Oracle first. Right, that's Rogue still droning, still saturating. From here, herO will take a third base, and then we're going to be waiting for the tech. For the Twilight Council, the Forge, upgrades. We're waiting to see where herO takes us. As herO does move in. Remember, 2 adepts taking one-shot drones. They can one-shot. Oracle's on the way as well. We'll see if Rogue can keep up. So far, so good. It's keeping up. Spore is about to finish. Oracle into the main. Does 9 mining. We have a second Oracle and a third Oracle. Okay, so triple Oracle opener out of herO is opening up standard. Fast Eva Chamber out of Rogue. This tells us he's going into +1 melee. Tells us that he does plan on skipping roaches this time. And based on how heavily herO's been punished for that, at least previously, he might not punish this time. He might not go into charge. Now would be the time. But the gambles have been so real this series. there's been so many risks taken. As I mentioned, yeah, +1 melee. Again, you don't go for a fast Eva Chamber unless you're going into melee. Bailey Nest, okay. We're going for a Bane bust, or this could just be safety from Rogue. We mentioned earlier, when it came to the charge base opener was Lings, they do get into the natural base. Probe's going to be going down. It gets 3. 3 probes do full. Better trade here for Rogue. At the same time, they do bust in across the map. Drone's going to be going down as well. Workers do full. Lings out of position. herO getting a bit out of hand. I'll shade away. Massing on more Zerglings. But what I was getting at is that if this was a charge-based opener out of herO charge follow-up, then Banelings would be a way to deal with that, to shut it down. Adepts, they go in, they shade, they confirm. They're going to be cleaned up, but they do get eyes on the Baneling Nest. And it is going to be Blink. Blink and +1. So standard follow-up out of herO. I will say that these upgrades are a little bit late. herO was banking up some minerals and gas, so later upgrades here, but they're on the way nonetheless. And now we're getting into a longer game. Getting into the mid-game here. Rogue gaining map control, going for the lair. This should lead into Hydras, so Link main Hydra out of Rogue. Or just Link Hydra out of Rogue. But he's passing up a lot of Zerglings. That's what, 20 more Lings on the way. That's a big commitment here for Rogue. Otherwise, he should be fully joined up. He's all in. Wow, he's just going all in. I mean, the lair does allow him to take up, but this is a lot of Zerglings. This is so committed. And if this fails to get damage done, he will fall behind. Again, all these Zerglings could have been drones. There we go, Leagues are moving in. Bailings are on the way. And herO, can he keep up? As Rogue is under 49 drones. Like he just has not been droning. He has 26 more Zerglings on the way. He just sends it. He's sending it, Pappy. Who needs Bailing speed? We're just waddling in. We're just waddling in. Lair is done. Oracles are across the map. They don't have to defend. Bailing's making the way to the mineral line. Lings, they look down the stalkers. Oh, you know, probes, they do pull away. They pull back. Bailings crash in. No shield batteries. And with that, the third base has been broken. Yeah, the Oracle's out of position. They're racing back home. If the Oracles were here, there would have been a strong defense. But the Oracles were not. And Bailings are making their way in. Up. Do they connect? I started firing. One gets started down. Lings, they peel off into the natural. The rest go into the main. At the same time, third goes down. And herO, he has been broken. He has been broken. Wow, the all-in here from Rogue was so risky. Once again, just really risky play out of both players, out of Rogue and herO. herO moved out despite seeing all those Zerglings. And he hasn't broken. He hasn't broken. Rogue has done it. A bit of a shorter best of 5. not gonna lie, but an explosive one in more ways than one. As things, they have 42 probe kills across the map. herO, he has been crippled, and again, he doesn't really have much left over here. He's working towards charge. He's down to 30 probes. Now is the time for Rogue to drone. He's droned up to 75. Now he can saturate. Hydra production's underway. He can take up into infestation bits, into lurkers, into extra gases, into a 5th base. He can do whatever he wants. He's under no threat. Like, there's nothing to threaten him. There's oracles. That's it. That's all that herO has. Just triple oracle across the map. And again, here he saw the Bailing Nest earlier, but he had assumed, and I had assumed as well, that it was just more of a defensive Bailing Nest in case charge was researched. And here he took a risk. His chance was to be active with the oracles. He missed those Zerglings, right? He saw the group on the left-hand side, but he didn't really pay too much mind. He missed the group on the right. He missed the reinforcements. He didn't see that Rogue was all in. And again, if the oracles were at home, if he was aware, of course, if he had scouted, different story, but he was unable to. What happened? The pants were down 1 second. And here comes the Link Hydra. And again, Rogue, he would just drone. Like, he doesn't have to attack here, but he's just going for the kill. Just going for the kill, going for the throw. Storm is not done. Rogue, he's here to break herO. He's here to make it to the grand finals. As they bust in. No shield battery. High Templar goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2. GG gets called, and Rogue, he will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals of GSL. GG. GG, well played. Rogue, he does claim the series here. And again, we did not see a single mid game. We did very short games here, very short games. A lot of all-ins back and forth. I say a lot of all-ins. The game 1 did kind of set the tone a little bit with herO punishing Rogue. And after Rogue got punished for cutting corners, he's like, you know what? I'ma just commit. I'ma just be hyper aggressive. And hey, it worked. It did work. And again, partly as well because herO, he was unaware and unable to, or just unaware to scout on torches. Like, I'm still thinking about torches. Like, torches was just such a delayed scout from herO to recognize what was happening, to recognize what was going on. Likewise, game 2, herO, he got hard countered. herO, he went into +1 charge, and then he got all in by a German taxi. Again, he just was unable to confirm what was happening. And here as well, we had the Ling Bane all in. We had the Bane bust, and herO, he did not realize what was going on, did not scout, despite opening up triple oracle, and with that was torn apart. GG, well played. With that, Classic and Gumiho are going to be coming up next. They're going to be coming up next here as we can catch up on our bracket. Let's go. Let us go. So here we go. We have Classic and Gumiho. They're going to be our next pairing here, our next series. It's going to be a PvT between our two players. Now, bearing in mind, we were going over this earlier, but Classic and Gumiho, they actually did already make it to the semis last season. Rogue is the only newcomer. We had herO, Classic, and Gumiho making it into last season's semifinals, but they actually didn't play against each other. They were on opposite ends. It was Cure versus Classic and Gumiho versus herO last time. So here, this time we have a different pairing, and I know that there was a lot of hype around Gumiho, especially coming into this, or a lot of support from his team. I don't think we have directly addressed it, but it has been really exciting to see Seoul Esports support Gumiho the way that they have. If you've been following the past couple of broadcasts, like GSL broadcasts, DreamHack, and the EWC qualifiers as well, you would know that there'd be like a surge of Seoul Esports fans, like flood the chat and flood the streams as well, and a lot of them have never seen StarCraft before. It was a bit of a challenging cast, not gonna lie, covering the EWC qualifiers, when a lot of them were asking like, hey, what's the win condition, like what does this unit do, what does that unit do, like how does this dynamic work, what are the other races, can anyone play any race? Like they're very inquisitive as to the game itself, as a lot of them were Seoul Esports fans, more so than StarCraft fans. But regardless, they were there to support, Gumiho. They were there to support his boy in those EWC qualifiers, and it's something that you don't really get to see too often. We've been a little bit critical. We brought it up during the podcast how a lot of these teams that pick up players for EWC, they pick them up just to get the bonus, right? For those who don't know, there is basically a bonus that teams do acquire. I think it's like 500k. It's like a big bonus if they are in multiple esports. For every other esport that they're in, they do get an extra bonus. And because StarCraft is a part of EWC, teams like Alcadzia Esports, teams like Virtus Pro, Twisted Minds, Team Falcons, like a lot of these teams do pick up like RSC Esports, Sentinels, true. They pick up a player just to get that bonus, right? Just to get that bonus. And it's good for the players themselves just because they are able to get some support, but very often the teams don't really care. They don't like, they're not really invested in their players. They just want the bonus. That's all they really, I mean, they would want their players to perform well, don't get me wrong, but it's very much so like a shallow incentive, I should say. There are definitely exceptions to that, and I want to say that Seoul Esports is one of them. Like, you don't see the Sentinels boys show up to Showtime's matches to cheer for him. You don't see the RSC boys show up to Spirits matches to cheer for him. You don't see the Alcadzia boys to show up and cheer for Creator, for example, right? Like, there's definitely some teams that's, they're not as invested into their own players as others, and I feel like Seoul Esports is probably the best one, to be honest. I want to say like Seoul Esports, Team Vitality, of course, as well. They're a lot more invested into their players, into their teams, but very rarely do they direct like all their fans to like go in and to cheer for their boys. And yeah, it's I appreciate it. Do appreciate it. So big shout out to Seoul Esports for that. I say Seoul Esports, S-A-U-L. Yeah. So really do appreciate it. And we'll see how he does perform against Classic here as they're facing off in a Terran versus Protoss matchup. Let's go. As we wrapped up with one series, now we're jumping into our next one.